Hi, I'm Kevin Tharp, and today I'm going to walk you through phase two of our semester project. What we're going to be focusing on is content and navigation planning. So just to catch you up, you already went through phase one, which is visioning. So what we're trying to do is roughly simulate the process that you would go through if you were creating a company and creating a website for that. It's not exactly the same, but for the classroom, it gets us where we need to, where you understand the process. So the first part of the process is getting an idea of what you're going to do. We did that in phase one. So now we're moving on to phase two, where what we start doing is we start essentially creating our plan, and in this case, we start executing our plan for how the content and the navigation is going to be set up. So what we'll be doing is you will actually set up a website. And let me go through the full thing here. Then we'll start getting into the details. So the main thing that's going to happen in this phase is you are going to create a website. So whether you're doing that as an individual or group, it's going to be the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a website. We will do that on WordPress.com. We'll use this free site, and I'll get into that in a few minutes in this video. Once you've set up that site, if you're a group, you'll have to add all the users of your group to that website so that they can also work on it. But if you're an individual, you'll just be the only one involved with doing that. So after you create the website, get the people part worked out. Then you're going to go in and you're going to select a theme. A theme in WordPress is the visual and presentation background for it, the template that you are going to be using for the website. Then what you'll do is you are going to create the primary pages that you're going to need. And the reason that we do that at this point is because in WordPress, we need those pages in place in order to set up our navigation. So in the earliest stages, you may just be creating a page that has nothing more than a title so that it becomes a placeholder for the this round and later rounds where you'll later plug in the content. But we need those pages in place right now so that we can set up our navigation. And that navigation requires using menu system in WordPress. And again, I'll go into that, and we have a lot of resources for that. So after you set up the navigation, then what you'll do is a soft launch of the website. The reason you have to do a soft launch of the website is that this is your website. It lives on WordPress. We don't have access to it. So what you've got to do is you've got to launch your site in a way that we can see the URL, because one of the things that you'll be doing in this phase is you will be turning in the content, and that you'll be giving us the URL, so that we can go and look and see what you've got done at this stage. So after you turn that in, if you're an individual, you sort of proceed to phase three. If you're doing this as a group, and I'll talk about this at the end of the video, you go into the process for how we manage the group grades and the peer evaluation. So there's a peer evaluation at this phase if you are a member of a group. That doesn't apply if you're an individual. So then you'll go on to phase three, where you actually start plugging in the content to the website. So you're going to do your bulk of your research and your content development net there. Now, that said, there's no reason you can't start putting your content in at this point. But that's what phase three is, to make sure your content is there. And going back to the project page, there is a sample page that we have got set up here. So if you click on that, you're going to come to this website that was set up with the rules that we're using and the process that we're using for this website. So this becomes a good resource for you to get an idea of how one of our instructors uh, uh, reacted to this assignment and responded and created the website. So you'll see that it's got content, it's got navigation, it's got e-commerce, it's got a staff page, contact page. Those are all elements that are in here. And I don't want you duplicating what is done on this page. This is just to give you an idea of how one person interpreted this assignment in a way that turned into a website. And that's ultimately the goal on this. So you can follow that link and get to that website to get an idea of what we're looking at. Um, so you're going to be working in WordPress, and there's a lot to learn. I mean, WordPress in itself is a massive topic, a lot of things to learn. But what we've done is we've set up a WordPress beginner series that's got a series of articles listed down here. And what they do is they walk you through the different things that you're going to have to do on this website so that you understand this technical standpoint. So if you go to the setting up a post, this is going to walk you through, and it includes video, how to set up the free WordPress site, which is what you'll be doing for this class. You'll be setting up a free WordPress site and putting your content in there. The next thing that is in here is adding the navigation menus to WordPress. So it's setting up that initial navigation plan of how you expect the navigation to finally work. Then the next element is working with the menus. So there's different ways you can use those menus. There are different places you can use menus, and there's different ways that you can interact with those. So this goes that next step beyond just putting a menu in place to managing it so that it works in the way that you want it to. The next one is, this is sort of a general content document here. Learn to blog, a blog post to get you started. But what this does is it goes into the idea of creating and putting content into the page and the pages and the posts that are part of WordPress so that you can do the things that you need to do. And it walks you through step by step how to add content, what different types of content to use, and in general, the use of the block editor to add things like images, headings, paragraphs, all the different kinds of content that you're going to want to do. It talks about using that the block editor in WordPress so that you are able to do it. It gives you information about the types of content that you can have there, and just generally how to use the WordPress site that you're going to be setting up, the tools that are available to you there to accomplish the tasks that we have laid out for you, including publishing posts and getting the proper URL to turn in. So if you go in and watch that video, it's going to prepare or read that website. It's going to give you the information you need to accomplish all the different steps in phase 2 so that you can turn that in. Just moving down, there are additional details down here for the phase 2. So this goes into the detailed tasks that you will need to do. Now, if you see this one section on add users to your website, that is only for the people who are doing this as a group project. So if you're doing it as an individual project, you don't need to worry about that. But that's why it's color coded as green, because it only applies to the groups. So disregard that if you are working individually, and do it if you are working in the groups. So it's going to talk about the theme, creating the pages, and this gives you a list of the pages that you need to have. Setting up the navigation, and that points to the how-to series, the beginner series. And then it goes into how to launch the site. And you're going to want to, again, pay attention to all of this. And ultimately, what you're going to do is you're going to share the URL with your instructor. That's how you turn it in. And then you're going to go on to phase 3, research and content development. That's another video. We'll talk about that in the next one. But basically, in that phase, you're going to go, and all these pages that you've created as part of this process, you are going to add the content to them. But again, that is in the next phase. That's all I've got. I hope this is helpful. Look to the resources that you have. There's a lot of content out here to help you to accomplish this. It's all right in front of you. It has been written into a beginner's guide. Some of the stuff has been written into a beginner's guide, so it's written at a level for somebody who has never done this before, and that's where most of you are going to be. So that's all I've got for now. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.